Rome Pour On perfume spray. See how it goes. It's more like a body spray, that's for sure. But yes, good morning. It is absolutely horrible out there. We've had too good weather lately, to be honest, and today it's finally come to a head. It's very windy, it's very wet, and yeah, not sure how this fitness range review is going to go, but we're going to try it anyway. And this one today is a bit of a different one. As you would have just seen, this kind of sprays a bit more like a body spray. I think it is kind of more a body spray. It's got that sort of metal bottle essentially rather than a fragrance. But yeah, it is called Rome Pour On perfume spray, which obviously those of you that like your fragrances, sounds a little bit like Valentino Born in Roma. There's so many of those ones. They have men's, women's fragrances. There's a Uomo, and I think that's the one that's probably trying to copy the Born in Roma Uomo for men. And yeah, I'm looking forward to giving it a try today. My brother basically bought this a few weeks ago. Came as kind of part of the set of fragrances he bought for like £10. It was super, super cheap. And there's like the brand here is called Parfum Deluxe. And yeah, just essentially look forward to seeing if it's worth buying. And yeah, because I don't normally buy these sort of pressurized sprays, you know, ones that sort of spray like that, as opposed to kind of more like a liquid. So yeah, looking forward to giving it a review. If you haven't seen my reviews before, essentially I'm going to do a morning workout, fingers crossed with the weather. So I'm going to go for a run, walk to the gym. Probably not going to walk to the gym today, but we'll walk on the treadmill downstairs, do a gym workout, have a shower, and yeah, we're just going to rank it on 5 categories during that time. So we'll look at its price/value for money, its versatility, how much you can use it in different situations. We'll look at its projections, how much I'm noticing it during my workout. We'll look at its compliment factor, do I think people are saying nice things about it, and its longevity, where I would have sprayed mine before I do my gym workout, have a shower, and still see if we can smell the fragrance after. So yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just quickly have a look at the information around this fragrance and see if we can pick up any notes that are in Rome Pour On. So yes, I couldn't really find any note breakdown for this one. I couldn't actually find a note breakdown at all, but I did see there's a fragrance that clones the, Born in Roma Pour On fragrance as well, and that's actually more like a proper fragrance, a proper eau de toilette. And it talks about things like geranium, it talks a bit about ginger, sage, a bit of cedarwood, vetiver in it. So I'm going to spray this again and just see if I can detect any of those things. There's definitely a smokiness in this. Now that might be coming from the vetiver, but it's not really strong. What it really does smell like, if I'm being completely honest with you, if you, someone who were in school, did PE lessons, it smells like a generic body spray that you would smell in the PE changing rooms. That's what it's like. But there is a slight sweetness that counteracts that smokiness, and I'm not sure if it's some florals. It feels to me like a pink pepper or a rose, and maybe some musk as well. And maybe that spice that I'm kind of getting mixing with that smokiness could be from something like ginger, but it's certainly not really prominent like that. Essentially, once you put it all in the wash, it comes out as quite a generic body spray. And something that's familiar, if you're someone, again, if you've bought body spray before, this is kind of that smell. It smells like pretty much all of them, essentially. And doesn't mean it's unpleasant. It's absolutely fine, and I'm really interested to review this one today. Again, I don't normally have these pressurized ones when I have body sprays. Normally, for example, Yognog by Lush, this one just sprays, and you'll see it, hopefully. You can see there's an actual mist that comes out, and it's more like a fragrance. It's quite wet, whereas this, again, is much more of that typical pressurized body spray that you'd expect to buy. But yeah, hopefully, I'm sort of keeping my eye outside at the moment, hoping this rate's going to just drop a little bit so I can do the first 2 categories, which will be price/value for money and its versatility. Wherever you see me next, hopefully you'll be with me, and we'll start doing the review. Oh, I think this is going to be a long hour and a half out running in this rain. It is horrible. It's so windy as well. So I'm going to make sure these first 2 categories are really quick before I break my phone from water damage. The price/value for money for this body spray, and looking on eBay, which is where my brother bought this, it seems to be the place where you're going to get this fragrance. The online price looks to be around £8. When you factor in postage, it's sort of £10 to £11. So do I think that's good value for money? Well, I suppose if someone said to me now, I've bought this body spray, they've given me a chance to smell it, 200ml size, do you want it? Would I pay £10 for it? Yeah, I'd probably give them the tenner and keep it. And I say that because, look, Is it a really unique smell? No, it's incredibly generic. But that's absolutely fine. For £10, what do you expect, you know? Essentially, even if it didn't smell nice, and even if it only lasted sort of 20, 30 minutes, I think you do well to say, oh, I feel ripped off with that, because it's just so affordable, isn't it? When you look at some prices of actual fragrances these days, you could be paying £50, £60 for something that smells relatively synthetic in its own right. Now, I think the question I would say, the reason I probably would say this isn't amazing value for money is, look, body sprays are cheaper in general, and I look at what the purpose of a body spray is, these pressurised mists. And if I've got a body spray in my bag, or, you know, when I was at school I used to have it in my PE kit, they weren't there to make me smell particularly nice. The purpose of a body spray for me is to stop me from smelling. And I think of fragrances as the opposite. I think fragrances are around, eau de toilette, eau de parfums. They're designed and they're built to actually make you smell nice as well at the same time. You know, I've got some that I've spent £7-8 on, you know. Choco Musk by Al Rahab is a lovely chocolate fragrance, nice milky chocolate. There's a Milton Lloyd Success which you can get on Amazon, 55ml bottle, but it smells like a lovely lemonade, and other people smell this around you. And for £10-11 you can buy sort of Police and Cuba fragrances, you know, in sort of 90-100ml bottle sizes, which will last just as long as this sort of pressurised mist, even though it's 200ml. So for me, would I pick this body spray over those fragrances which have a little bit more uniqueness and can also replicate smells of more expensive fragrances, albeit a bit more synthetic? I'd still pick the fragrances because they offer me a little bit more excitement. This is safe, this is generic, but this is really much dumb reach. Put in your work bag, put in your gym bag, stop yourself from smelling the BO if you're getting hot during the day. But if, you know, you're trying to get something that makes you smell nice enough for people to notice it, which is what I think most people are looking at when they're talking about fragrances, this isn't what that's for. So I'm not going to mark it down too much for that, but I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. It does what it says on the tin, but you can get fragrances for the same price, which will give you a little bit more excitement. Okay, so moving on to versatility then for Rome Pour Homme. How much can you dress this one up, dress this one down, different ages, different occasions, different seasons, all those things? Well, we've obviously spoken about the performance being pretty tame on this, but when it comes to versatility, that sometimes lends itself to being a good thing. That you don't want anything that's too heavy where you can't wear it in the summer, because that can give you a headache. But this isn't going to cut through the cold in the winter either. You know, you're going to want more sweet gourmand scent than this one. This one definitely is a woody fragrance, and what I love with woods and fragrances, cedarwood, sandalwood, they really can be used for dressing up and dressing down. Acqua di Parma Sandalo is one of my favourite woodsy fragrances. That's definitely more suit and tie, serious, smart, casual office scent that you'd wear it for. But there's loads of, you know, fragrances that have cedar in that are more in your sort of summer, springtime fragrances, warm weather fragrances, and that's what I like about them. Woods in fragrances tend to smooth off some of those harsh synthetic edges, and that's what this feels like. It's a well-rounded scent. This, it certainly doesn't feel harsh or aggressive, and you don't need to worry about it smelling like a, you know, an air freshener or anything like that. It smells just like a generic body spray, and it is what we said earlier. It's the phrase dumb reach, and dumb reach when it comes to versatility is a good thing. You can throw this in your gym bag. You could wear this with, you know, if you wanted to wear it with a suit and tie, of course you can. You're not going to smell wrong with it. It's absolutely fine for running this morning. It's not too heavy. I'm actually noticing it more than I thought I would, and it'll be fine at the gym as well. Again, it's not going to be anything that nobody smelled before, and I won't feel uncomfortable being next to people with this one on. So I think this is probably going to be the round it does best today. Any age could pull this one off as well. Definitely leans more masculine because there is a slight smoky edge, which I think is coming from the vetiver. And I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. I think I was probably quite harsh on the price one, and I think I've been quite generous here with versatility because it doesn't have much kick. And for some people, they definitely would want better performance. But we will talk about that, and we'll talk about projection when we get back and how much I'm noticing this body spray during my run. Please stay dry, Harry. Please don't rain any more than it currently is. The workout done, I am absolutely soaked through. I'm hoping to try and keep my trousers on for the gym, but they really are soaking wet. Time to spray my room and test for projection now. So I'm just going to hold this down for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And essentially I want to see how much this fragrance filled up a room. So if a colleague came in, if this was a work office, or a family member came into my room, a friend, would they notice the fragrance. I'm also going to spray my arm, my soaking wet arms, with this spray, just to see in a few hours when I leave the gym after I've done my work, have a shower, if I can still detect it. But let's head downstairs. Let's talk about projection during my run. I'm so wet. It's horrible. Stop moaning about the weather, Harry. It's been good lately. Oh, that is so much better. I am absolutely frozen. You are currently resting on an air fryer at the moment, by the way, while I talk about projection during my run for this body spray. Now, I'm going to take back a couple of things I said. What I do like is when I have fragrances I'm trying for the first time, is quite often your opinion changes. Sometimes things can be linear and a bit boring, but this is changing for the good reasons. This is changing for the right reasons. I was quite surprised when I was talking about versatility while I was outside. I did still detect the fragrance a little bit, and that's good. That's better than what I'd expect of a normal body spray. I'm going to be fair to it here as well, because the weather outside is absolutely awful. I'm absolutely soaked. So it's not going to particularly last anyway. You know, even a strong perfume is not going to necessarily last as well. So can't fault it down for that. I think it was performing above average, and obviously I've just sprayed my arm as I came down. I said it was obviously quite generic, and it is quite generic, but there's a real strong floral component here I'm getting. I don't know if that's geranium, sage, I don't know if there's a little bit of rose in this maybe, but whatever it is that's in it, it's very pleasant, it's very nice. It's a nice clean floral rather than that really, sometimes floral notes could be quite skanky or quite spicy, and a bit of a urine smell in my opinion. This one doesn't. It's very clean, refreshing breath of fresh air without smelling though like a room air freshener. So do I expect it to fill a room? No, I don't, but I'll finish this tea. We'll head upstairs and yeah, we can then give our overall score on projection. You never know, it may surprise me on this as well. Okay, in we go. New clothes are on. I feel so much warmer. Oh, can I smell the fragrance? No. I'll tell you what I can smell. It's Yognog, and I think it's where I sprayed it on one of my coats yesterday, and it's definitely that I'm smelling. It's very strong. It's my hoodie. That's what it is. It's my hoodie over there. The actual spray, though, this Born in Roma or whatever it's called. What is it actually called? I keep saying it. Rome Pour On. Yeah, no performance. But that's the body spray. That's what you, again, I've said this, you expect that. Unless you're spraying half a bottle and taking the oxygen away, you're not going to get much from this. So what we're going to do now, though, we're going to head to the gym in a second. And yeah, thankfully it stopped raining. But I do need to give a score then for projection overall. Did it over exceed during my run? Yes. Has it kind of done what I've expected here with the room spray test? Yes. So I'm just testing my longevity as well. I'm going to give it 4 out of 10. Look, it's a body spray, and that's why I'm not giving it a 1. If this was a fragrance, I'd give it a 1 because there's barely anything there. But look, I don't expect it to fill up a room. It's to spray on yourself anyway, ultimately. It's not a room filler. I don't think body sprays are ever going to be room fillers. But in terms of, as I said, for that first half an hour of my run, I did notice it, and I think that's why I've given it the 4 points. I think that's pretty fair. But yeah, we are going to risk it. It is dry at the moment. So let's head to the gym. We'll talk about compliment factor on the way. Well, that was stupid. I forgot my umbrella, but I have got my huge poncho on, which actually covers my bag as well, which is really good. So hopefully I'll be able to do a very quick one on compliment factor here before my phone gets absolutely flooded. So compliment factor then for Rome Pour On. Do I think this is a compliment getting sent? To be honest, it is actually really pleasant. You know, I said earlier it's really generic, really boring, but actually it's better than that. This floral component in it, I have to say, can't get enough of it. If this was a fragrance, I think this would be getting a very high score because of, again, those nice woods in it as well. Cedar is a lovely note in fragrances as well, but it's this floral rosy component or something. It may not be rose, but it does give that floral vibe that I think makes it a little bit unisex as well. I mean, there is definitely a spice in this, a slight smokiness in this that does make it lean more masculine, but I can see it being a compliment getting sent. Again, it's very approachable, it's very easy, and I always say this, but social norms do matter. We kind of expect men and women to have a certain smell, to dress a certain way, regardless of whether it's, you know, maybe not so strict as it used to be. And this just feels like a very well put together person who just looks after themselves. It's that nice clean smell. It's not seductive, it's not sweet like a vanilla caramel, which, you know, you tend to go for night out. This is your everyday, he smells nice sort of fragrance, and yeah, I think it would leave a good impression. Again, for job interviews, if someone notices this, they're going to really like it. But this is going to work better in those more intimate settings if you're just sitting at home on the sofa And I think this probably is still more of a casual scent. So it's got, obviously, as we said earlier, plenty of versatility to wear in many different situations. It's just whether its performance would be enough to really get noticed, to get those compliments. And it is still, as I said, even though it does have a little bit of uniqueness about it, it is still 95% generic and smells like an average body spray, just with that slight floral component. So look, it's probably going to be better than I thought it was for compliment factor. I think if someone was next to you at the gym and you've oversprayed the spit, you could get a compliment on it. And for that reason, I'm going to give it a 7.5. I think it's just about hit par. Again, for what you expect from a body spray, we do have to remember this isn't a perfume essentially, and that's limit it a little bit. But yeah, it's very pleasant. I'm actually really enjoying it compared to some of the other ones I've tried recently. Some of those other cheapies, 1 billion, which is a clone of 1 million. This smells a lot better than 1 billion for me, and yeah, it's starting to get me through my workout despite this horrible weather. Of course, if we do get any at the gym though today, we will bump up to the 10. Oh, well, look at this. It's not actually raining at the moment. There is even a bit of blue sky, which is a huge positive. Hopefully it will get back pretty much dry, but it's been about 3 hours. It's 12:15 now since I applied this body spray, this Rome Homme. I don't know why I find it so hard to remember that, but it's time to smell, see if we can detect anything. I'm not really expecting much, to be honest. Okay, well, I have to eat a bit of humble pie because I can smell it. And actually, to be honest with you, I can smell it a lot more than I expected. It's probably about 30%, 40% maybe as strong as it was a few hours ago. Now, when I was obviously on the treadmill, as you saw, I could smell it, but I just thought after a shower, particularly because this is, again, it's like a pressurised sort of mist. It's not like a wet oil sort of layering on your skin. I thought it would definitely wear off, but it's 100% there. And I have to say, I've gradually throughout this enjoyed this fragrance more. I almost feel apologetic towards it now in terms of some of the scores I gave earlier. But I've got to be fair and what, in terms of when I ranked them at the time, when I started this, I've just got to say what I feel. And it almost feels like I've been in an argument with someone, and once you've come out that zone of feeling really angry, and then you reflect on it, you almost realise, oh, actually, I was in the wrong. And that's kind of how I feel a little bit with this scoring now. But I've got to give this one, just because it is a body spray, and this is one of the best I can actually remember for longevity. I've had some David Beckham body sprays before, and they certainly didn't last this long. I've got to give it a 10 out of 10 for this round. Very surprised, to be honest with you. And yeah, it's certainly probably the biggest positive and the most surprising thing from this spray so far, no doubt. And yeah, maybe it's done alright. I'm looking forward to finding out what score I actually gave it earlier. So what we'll do, we'll head back, I'll have something to eat, and yeah, we'll do our overall thoughts as well. We are back. What an adventure it has been today. We've had all sorts of weather. We've had wind, we've had rain, got a tiny bit of sunshine now, and it looks like we're going to go back to rain in a minute. But I have managed to do, it's 20 past 1. I've done 42,768 steps, all while wearing this fragrance here, Rome Pour On, the body spray. Now, what was the total score based on the 5 rounds we did? It got 37 out of 50. Now, I think that's pretty good. 37 out of 50, over 70% of the total marks. Can't really go wrong for that. But I do think my opinion has changed for the better throughout this workout. Now, I've been saying it's a generic body spray, and in part I think that's true, but the more I've smelled it, the more I've let it kind of materialise over the day, I've noticed different nuances that make this separate from the rest. Again, that floral component is very nice. I've been very impressed with its longevity, as we said a little bit earlier on, and it's actually just a really approachable, nice smell. Again, sometimes generic can be boring at the same time. This one isn't. This one actually is very pleasant. It makes you feel good. And do you know what? I said earlier on that I'd probably buy a fragrance over this. I think now I'd be more open to just buying this actually over a Choco Must that I said earlier, for example, because it's more wearable. It's much more wearable than them. And it is, yeah, it's good. It's uplifting. It's refreshing. It's everything you want. Again, I've always said that the first thing with fragrance is I just want to smell clean. As long as I smell clean, that's great. And that's exactly what this does. It makes you smell clean. And I think back to when I was at school and I had Lynx Africa type fragrances. This smells better than that. This smells a bit more grown up. And yeah, it's very good. I'm really impressed. definitely, in my opinion, worth that £10. But again, if you're someone who's maybe into more fragrances and perfumes, would I say get this and don't bother about perfume? No. If you're going for body sprays, go and get your Lush body sprays, because they do work like a fragrance as opposed to like a pressurized can. So yeah, very impressed with this one. Out of all the sort of recent clone sort of body sprays and fragrances I've nicked from my brother recently, this so far is the best one. Really, really like it. And yeah, I better go put it back now as well, and hopefully I'll be able to nick another one of his as well, and you'll join me for that very soon as well. But yeah, hope you've enjoyed this one today. Yeah, fingers crossed this weather's going to improve, and we can do another review coming up. So yeah, I'm sure it will do. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.